Welcome back to the Clay Studios oil painting tutorial. This is Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in class 7 of the Vidya Lakshmi painting. Vidya Lakshmi is one of the 8 forms of Lakshmi avatars that are known for all the positive propensities of life, and Vidya especially refers to knowledge. So this is the goddess of knowledge that we are celebrating and painting along. We are working on layer 4 right now, and yeah, the last through 3 layers were more of filling and less of detailing. Now you're seeing that it's a reverse. There's a lot of detailing going on. We had started with this layer 4 in the last session, where we saw that there's a lot of detailing going on, and trying to build in the color ranges and such. And we're still work in progress with the details. Today we will continue the work on the detailing, starting with the costume that she is wearing, and also all the elements that she has in her hands, and the lotus flower. So all are white with respect to the Lakshmi. All are white. Goddess of knowledge is fully white, purity. So that's the color range that we are to work on. Yeah. And when it comes to white, I think we did talk about it in the previous session. We have used slight bit of yellow ochre to change the range and such. We have done some of that. um, we'll continue using some other colors to keep it white, at the same time change the range as well. Even the flowers, we want to work on this as a white, and then change the range as well. So what I'm going to do now is to first fill in um, the color ranges with white first. So I'm just taking pure titanium white to start filling in the ranges and the spaces nicely. There's a lot of white that we are going to work on today. So get ready for that. And I'm just also working a little bit on the shape of her hip, because I feel that somehow we have made it slightly bigger than needed. And also the fact that her thigh should come around like this, slightly bigger here, um, for her age. She should have a slightly, that is the kind of adjustment I was looking for. I'm going to use another color, wantedly, to score off the negative zone. So I'm just shifting another color, just putting in another color here to show that that's not the line anymore. It's really confusing me here. Yes, that is helping now. And I'm going to continue using the pure titanium white to fill in first. Mm. And then we will start working on shades as well. Mhm. And this goes also for the lotus flower. So we are going to do all white here. And the blessed thing is that even with this simplicity, you will see that the previous color is coming through this white, which is fine. Let it go around. I think I took a little too much of white than needed, so I'm just hmm, throwing it in the space, letting it go along. Hmm. Yes. So you say that it's all white. Hmm. Filling in everything white. Really, it's a beautiful color, white is. And it's good that the previous color is showing through from the third layer because I don't want it to be totally white. Like I said, it has to have a shade of white, meaning shade of another color to enhance the white. And the titanium white isn't the right white as well. So that's also why I feel. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Titanium white isn't the right white, or possibly, the cloth or something. And I want it, slightly shaded. So I'm just going to have to fill this in like this. I'm creating an angle from her hip, which wasn't there earlier. Given that she is slightly, from the Middle Eastern background, and she's got this slightly longer body for her age. So, and that's quite natural in the children there. Yeah? Um, they're really pretty. Yeah? So I guess that's manageable now. And now I want to use this white to go around doing slight shades in the lotus flowers as well. To just get the job going because everything is white and the lighter color, lighter shade, work on it first principle. But it will create a confusion here. Just be careful with it. Um, with the lotus flower here. I'm going to push this. Oh, she's already looking bright. Yeah. Pushing it up so that we can focus on the flower as such. I was thinking of making this flower slightly bigger. The petals here slightly bigger, filling in the petal. That is one petal done. Using a little bit of oil so that there is some kind of transparency in this white, and you still get to see the shade from the layer 3 until we get to using some more elements here. So knowledge, has to do with the purity and the color of the white color gives that the serenity. Yeah. I want to look at the way the flower is built. It has to look like a cup that is, gradually progressing on the sides. One, two, three. So I'm just looking for one. Okay, that's where I missed one, two, and the third one has to start from here to balance it out. So that was the error fixed. Everything seems white. I know you might find it a little confusing here. So just be patient with this. We will get there. I'm correcting the lotus flower because the way I did the shape wasn't looking like a cup. So I'm just doing that and doing the contours, and then making sure the center of the, somehow I make shapes looks in certain way that is slightly off. So I have right, I guess this is, yeah, this needs adjustment, I can see. hmm There you go with that. Contour shaded. I'm going to just shade in the flower petals. Okay. So, to the extent possible, I'm just filling in titanium white. Um, Before we could, use traces of other color to highlight and such, I'm just going ahead and filling in this. This filling process might seem like, okay, we are back again in the layer 3. Uh, that's very soon again. Just like the way we did a lot of shading in the face and the hands, we will work on such things here as well. Mhm. It is, in a way looking slightly different, even though, we have only added the white because of our previous layers. That is helpful. And now let's build on some shapes to this. So I'm going to take a tiny bit of yellow trace shade pure yellow trace shade for her clothing. So I'm not going to take too much of it. Keeping some yellow. I'm going to rely on a little bit of oil and taking in that tiny bit and not too much. Tiny bit of it going along the shoulder blades and her body contours and such. So lightly. I think that is enough, and I'm going to do that also in her, slightly giving a kind of partition in her skirt. So I'm just pulling up that. And then the contours of her leg. I guess that is enough with the yellow. I'm not going to take much more of the yellow. I will just wipe off the excess. Take some oil and start blending this through ever so lightly. Blend it through. Some more of white will add up. It's like, applying another layer of white to smoothen out. So just smoothening out there. The traces of yellow, right in between the traces of yellow, I'm just adding a little more soft geranium white again. There's also flake white and other zones of white one can use. I am having it, I'm not using it because I'm just thinking of it from the point of view of any ordinary white by default, and I'm just trying to do it to enable making the process of understanding slightly easier. Not experimenting more with the shades of white as such. I'm just going to add tinges of white again in some portions. Mm-hmm. Okay. Smoothening that, surface on the tummy area. So even though it's all white, we want to make it look like, it's a cloth that is on a little girl. So we need to have that shades drawn out nicely, clearly. So that is done. And now let's focus on the flower a little bit. I think we had tried, last time we had tried some other color zone. I think it was violet range or something. Let's take crimson this time, but not too much of it, because it would easily change the whole zone. So I'm going to take, in a micro brush, I'm going to take crimson and go from the tip of the flower to go around and create the contours. Add some more white there, so it's shining nicely. I'm experimenting in the small little flowers first. So with a micro brush to see how things are going. Okay, it's come out fairly decently, and I think I will go with the same idea. Tip of the brush with the crimson and starting with the tip of the flower and going along the contours. Good. Taking some more of the white and refreshing that flower petal again. Mhm. Good. Almost good. Yeah, a little bit of white again. So we'll play the same thing in the larger flower as well. Then I would go back to taking the brush zero flat, so one flat that I was using for all along. Going to take that crimson, and I'm going to do one thing. So let me take this along slightly upward here, and then you get to see more of this. So I'm going to pinch crimson in the bottom of the petals, the base of the petals, like here, and start pulling that crimson along the contours first. Two, three, four, three. You see? So this is how we have created the contours a little really here. I'm going to take a little more of the white and go along that contour, lightening up that pink. Yes, lightly taking that pink all along. So it will look like pink a little bit, but then it's more of white. So I'm going to take white and go in the opposite direction ever so lightly, blending that in. So this is what I'm going to do in each and every petal. I'm pushing in some white in the tips of the petal so that I can stock it up here. Tip of the petal getting some white to work on. Cool. Now let's pull through this white with the help of a bit of oil, slowly, steadily, blending it through with the pink traces that are coming. It is still a white flower. Let's be mindful of that. There is a tendency that we make it pink. Not this flower though. Slow and steady, nice and easy. I'm pulling the white and pulling the pink across. The crimson across. Huh? That's happening in all the other petals as well. Wherever needed, take a little bit of oil to make it fluid, make it run around. This one on the side gets a little more of the crimson traces. This one. The petals in the bottom are almost over now. Okay. Now we work on the petals in the side. I'm just taking in a little bit of crimson boldly on the sides. Pulling in on this last two petals at the edge. Because they are really on the side, isn't it? So we want to show a little more of the pink there. Okay. So Let's take a look at the flower altogether. Do we need shades? Of course, it looks like we need a little bit of shading. I'm going to go ahead and throw in a bit of crimson in between here and this, angles slightly to finesse it, and also shade the inner lotus petal. Okay, so I'm really taking, really gently taking in crimson on the tip of my brush to play around with this like this, and also using that to fill in on that. I guess we'll have to play around with that a little bit more here. Adding a bit more of that angle everywhere. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw that in and shade it a bit. Crimson angles coming up in the petal here. So really light shading. If we look at what we have done, we have also used the previous layers color shading. It's still there, and that's also helping in the process of, highlighting what we have done here. It's a careful work. Pulling in. Yeah. Just looking at it, if I need another contour or such. No, I guess I'm just using traces of the color to give suggestive, shading and such. I think it looks fine for now. The lotus flowers are done. Her clothing is done. Jewelry will be taken care of in the next session. But we have two other elements. One is the book, and for that I will rely on using a little bit of yellow ochre and primary yellow lightened up a little bit as the base color of the book, and go ahead and fill that in, and then I will use burnt umber to do the traces of the book. I think it's also there in the another reference, but it isn't. It's white. I have used the golden color like a palm leaf booklet idea. Um, I'm going to take a micro brush and take burnt umber and do the contours of it like this. Give the feeling that there are more in her hands, and then we'll write some script here. Give a feel that there is something written here on the booklet. So just creating some sort of lines here. Yeah, I guess this holds good for now. Hmm. Yes, I guess this is fine for now. I'm going to move on to working on the peacock feather. That's a lot of detail. What do we do? Peacock feather, I want to start with, so for the peacock feather, I'm going to start with the blue. I'm taking a bit of primary blue in my brush, micro brush, and making a circle of it here. So it's a lighter blue. What else goes there? It's a lot of colors. Peacock feathers. I am doing it from my own memory, and also that I have drawn a lot of peacock feathers everywhere in my uh, yeah, in my studio here. So it's a bit easier for me to copy from what I have in front of me. But I'm gonna show you and tell you what exactly I'm doing. I'm doing primary blue with a micro brush. I'm just doing a circle here, okay, and leaving it like that, and then I will do I will take vermilion and do a vermilion circle as well around this. Okay, that's all, and that mixes a little bit with the blue, but that's okay. Just leave it like that, and let the circle come to a. There are many ways to do this. You can do orange and such. I'm wiping off this brush. I'm taking the yellow that we used for shading her contours of her skirt as such, and I'm just going to throw it in here as another circle. Yeah, that goes. And then I want a nice olive green bunch to go around this. We will not do the feathers right away, yeah, because we have to do the background, and we can do the feathery things later. You can leave out a little bit of space like this, but we will be working on it in detail later. So like this, and what I'm going to do is to take olive green and mix it a little bit with the burnt umber. For the base of the feather that's going to come in her hand and come down like this. And that goes for the lotus that is in her hands also, that come out like this. Yes, I guess I have managed to do the basics here. hmm Like this greeny tone that I want to add a little bit to this palm leaf booklet also. I'm just slightly adding it to give a shade there. I guess we are practically done with the um clothing, the lotus flowers, and all elements that she is holding. We are painting the jewelry and also a bit on the background, which we will take care of in the upcoming session. I think this is a good time for us to, close this class. I hope you have found this useful and found this interesting to try. And how did we manage to keep the white and show different shades of white? And I hope you've also made that and found it interesting to work on. Just trying to see if I have to do one more little petal here to balance out somehow. Something isn't right. Uh, yeah, I have just done that, and I'll take a look at it again when we come when we come to the um, layer 5. Yeah, so I just did that, blending it in, keeping it there. Yes. So it is a good time for us to make a stop here. Until we meet in the next class, stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, stay motivated. Let's see Vidya Lakshmi through the layer 4 in the next class. Bye bye.